Starseed of Gaia, pause for a moment. Your body is not reacting, it is remembering. At this exact moment, your cellular vessel is being gently recalibrated to hold a higher coherence. I am Anya, emissary of the Galactic Federation of Light. This is a direct and intentional transmission from the Arcturian Council, offered to you now. Before we go deeper, let me say this clearly. What you've been feeling is not a failure of your mind or body. Nothing is wrong with you. This transmission is not here to overwhelm. It's here to translate what your body already knows. Starseed, what you're calling discomfort, is not random emotion, not anxiety without a cause, and not your life falling apart. It is a precision event. It is your frequency attempting to reseat itself into its original architecture after years, sometimes lifetimes, of compression. There is a reason the pressure has increased lately. There is a reason old patterns feel unbearable now, and the same distractions that used to soothe you no longer work. Your system is no longer willing to negotiate with timelines that keep you small. The deeper truth is this. Your soul is refusing to remain compatible with the version of you that was designed to survive instead of lead. And if you felt like you're shedding identities faster than you can replace them, good. That is exactly how a blueprint emerges. The false scaffolding collapses first. Many beings reach this point and think they're losing themselves. But you are not losing yourself. You are losing the mask that was built to function inside a world that could not interpret your signal. Because the moment you stop translating yourself downward to fit the room changes, or you leave it. Either way, your mission expands. By the end of this transmission, you will understand why this breaking apart is actually your cosmic programming waking up, why your nervous system is the battleground of the upgrade, and how to move through this activation without abandoning your human life or betraying your soul. And listen carefully. The Arcturian Council is not asking you to believe. They are asking you to notice, because your remembrance is already happening. The first thing you must understand is that awakening is not always light and peace. Sometimes awakening feels like friction, insomnia, irritability, waves of sadness with no obvious story attached, and a strange intolerance for anything inauthentic. That does not mean you are regressing. It means your system has become too coherent to keep holding contradictions. And coherence is expensive. It demands truth. As the Arcturians transmit, your human programming is not simply thoughts. It is a full energetic operating system. Inherited beliefs, collective fears, survival reflexes, and identity structures that once kept you safe. In earlier stages of your incarnation, these structures were useful. They helped you navigate density. They helped you function inside a world that rewards conformity and punishes the unknown. But now, the cost of carrying them is higher than the cost of releasing them. This is why you feel discomfort in places you used to tolerate. This is why certain conversations suddenly feel like sandpaper against your field. This is why you can't go back to old habits, even if you try. Your body is not being dramatic. Your body is reading frequency, and it is refusing to host what does not match your emerging mission. Think of it like this. If you've been playing music through a damaged speaker, you might not notice what's wrong if you've never heard the song clearly. But the moment the speaker begins to repair itself, distortion becomes unbearable. The sound becomes sharper until it becomes pure. Your awakening is the repair. Your discomfort is your sensitivity returning. Here is a common pattern. The starseed begins to shed something: relationship, job, location, identity, and the mind panics. It says, "But who will I be without this?" Yet the soul remains calm, because the soul is not losing anything real. It is removing adapters. It is removing compromises. It is removing agreements that were made in unconsciousness. A complete story many of you will recognize. You wake up one day and realize you've been living on borrowed energy. You've been overgiving, over-explaining, over-performing, and shrinking your truth to maintain peace. You call it being mature, but your field calls it leakage. Then suddenly the leakage becomes painful. You try to keep being the old you for one more week, one more month, one more year, and your system says no. Your sleep shifts, your appetite shifts, your motivation collapses. Not because you're broken, but because the old fuel source has been cut. Your soul is removing the supply line to your false life. Application. When discomfort rises, do not ask, "What is wrong with me?" Ask, "What agreement is dissolving?" Then notice the patterns that trigger the sensation. Is it people-pleasing? Is it self-betrayal? Is it hiding your gifts? Is it staying in places that numb you? Your body will tell you with absolute accuracy. Spiritual reflection. You are not here to perfect comfort. You are here to perfect alignment. And alignment often begins as collapse, because the old geometry must break before the new sacred geometry can lock into place. The discomfort is the sound of the old grid releasing its hold. And if you think this is only emotional, wait until you see why your nervous system is the exact portal the Arcturians use for activation. The second revelation is that your awakening does not begin in your mind. It begins in your nervous system. That's why so many starseeds experience symptoms that sound physical. Heart flutters, pressure in the head, tingling, heat waves, sudden fatigue, sensitivity to noise, or an urgent need to be alone. Your body is not malfunctioning. It is recalibrating. As the Arcturians transmit, the human nervous system is the interface between dimensions. It translates frequency into sensation. That means when higher bandwidth begins to stream into your field, the first place you feel it is not in your thoughts. You feel it as stress, overwhelm, restlessness, or strange surges of energy, because your body is trying to upgrade its capacity to hold more light without short-circuiting. Imagine pouring pure electricity into wiring built for low voltage. The wiring doesn't resist because it's evil. It resists because it's not designed yet for that power. So your awakening includes a gradual rewiring. Breath patterns change, sleep patterns shift, emotional releases happen, and suddenly you can't tolerate environments that once felt normal, because your system is now reading them as chaotic. Here is a story. A starseed begins receiving clear intuitive knowing about people, timelines, outcomes. At first it feels magical. Then it feels terrifying, because the mind tries to control it. The mind says, "If I know this, I must act on it immediately." The nervous system goes into alarm. The person begins to lose sleep, obsess, and spiral. The gift becomes a burden. But the problem was never the gift. The problem was the nervous system not yet trained to hold the signal calmly. So, what is the solution? It is not to shut down your gifts. It is to build capacity. Capacity is the ability to remain regulated while holding intensity. The Arcturian path is not about escaping emotion. It is about stabilizing frequency inside emotion. Practical examples that create immediate stability. Slow exhale breathing, longer exhale than inhale, to signal safety to your vagus nerve. Short periods of sensory reduction. Silence, dim light, fewer inputs, hydration and minerals, because your bioelectric system needs conductivity. Walking barefoot or grounding practices to discharge excess charge. Choosing one signal window per day for spiritual work instead of constant seeking. When you do these, your gifts begin to feel like clarity instead of chaos. Your intuition becomes calm, not frantic. Your downloads become precise, not overwhelming. Your sensitivity becomes guidance, not suffering. Spiritual reflection. Your body is not the enemy of your awakening. It is the temple that makes the awakening usable in the physical realm. Your mission requires embodiment. You are not here to float above Earth. You are here to anchor frequency into matter. This is not for everyone. The ebook, The 12 Arcturian Portals is a restricted trilogy created for those who are ready to activate their 5D connection with the Arcturian Masters, not in theory, but in real energetic experience. Inside, you'll access 12 powerful portals with precise activation protocols, rituals, and practical techniques designed to awaken your stellar DNA and unlock what has been dormant within you. Amplified intuition, direct communication with spiritual guides, energetic expansion beyond the 3D matrix. Warning: once activated, your perception will not return to the previous state. Limited edition. Access can close at any moment. The link to claim your trilogy is in the first pinned comment. If this message reached you, it's not random. Once your nervous system stabilizes, a hidden veil lifts, and you realize your personality was never your true identity. Now we enter the most misunderstood part of the awakening. Your gifts were never missing. They were concealed beneath noise. They were buried under coping mechanisms. They were masked by the need to appear normal. When you were younger, your gifts often showed up as problems: being too sensitive, knowing too much, feeling out of place, reading rooms instantly, sensing lies, getting drained in crowds, dreaming intensely. You learned to suppress. You learned to rationalize. You learned to call your cosmic intelligence overthinking. As the Arcturians transmit, gifts do not arrive like packages in the mail. They emerge like memories returning to the nervous system. You begin to recognize the patterns. Your clear knowing, claircognizance, was always there. Your clear feeling, clairsentience, was always there. Your subtle vision of potential in others was always there. But the human mind demanded proof, and proof is slow. Your gifts are fast. A complete story. You meet someone and immediately feel a heaviness in your chest. Nothing bad has happened. They are polite. They smile. Yet your body feels tight. Later you learn they were manipulating you or hiding an agenda. Your mind says, "How did I know? You didn't guess. You read frequency. That's not paranoia. That's perception." Another example, you have an urge to call someone, and the moment you do, they say, "I was about to make a decision and I needed to hear your voice." That isn't coincidence. That is your mission field syncing with another soul's timeline. The reason your gifts felt inconsistent is because you tried to access them through the mental mind. The mental mind is linear. Your gifts are quantum. The mental mind wants a guarantee. Your gifts work through resonance. The more you demand certainty, the more your field contracts. And contracted fields receive less signal. So, what is the Arcturian key? Stop chasing abilities and start honoring the abilities already expressing through your everyday life. The empathy you feel is not weakness, it is data. The discomfort you feel in certain spaces is not you being difficult, it is calibration. The longing you carry is not lack, it is memory. Application. When you receive a clear knowing, don't debate it for hours, write it down. Track patterns. What environments expand you? What environments drain you? Practice discernment. Not everything you feel is yours. Use energetic boundaries. Imagine light geometry around your body before entering crowds. Validate your perceptions privately first. Confidence grows through evidence. Spiritual reflection. You are not becoming someone new. You are returning to someone ancient. Your gifts are the language your soul has always spoken. Now, you are finally learning to trust your own translation. If this message resonated with you, hit the like button now and tell us in the comments how this echoed in your consciousness. If this message ignited something within you and you feel the call to help carry it to others, you may become a channel member. As a member, you gain access to custom emojis and exclusive members-only videos, and your donation helps us continue building this sacred space. You may also choose to leave your offering as a super thanks. Every seed planted here becomes part of someone else's miracle. Your support is not merely financial, but an act of energetic amplification. All donations are devoted entirely to the maintenance of the channel and the creation of new transmissions and videos. But there is one trap almost every awakened starseed falls into, and it can delay your mission for years: outsourcing authority. This is where many starseeds get stuck. They begin to awaken, and immediately they start looking outside themselves for someone to confirm it. Teachers, channeled messages, mentors, readings, trends, community opinions. And while guidance can be helpful, the subtle shadow is dependency. When you need permission to trust your knowing, you have already given your power away. As the Arcturians transmit, true guidance does not create dependence. It creates remembrance. Your guides are not trying to become your crutch. They are trying to become unnecessary. Their goal is to strengthen your inner authority so you can stand inside your mission without collapsing when others doubt you. Here is a story. A starseed feels called to share a message publicly. They write the post, record the video, feel the energy. Then fear hits. What if I'm wrong? What if people laugh? So they ask 10 people for feedback. Some say yes, some say no. The starseed becomes confused and freezes. The message never goes out. What happened? Their intuition was clear, but their authority was not anchored. Energetic sovereignty means you can receive input without losing your center. You can learn without surrendering your knowing. You can be corrected without being shattered. You can be misunderstood without going silent. Practical sovereignty is built through making small aligned decisions daily, training your system to trust itself, saying no without explaining. Your field learns it is safe to hold boundaries. Creating quiet time where you don't consume content, so your signal returns. Asking, does this expand me or hook me? Before following any guidance. Recognizing the difference between fear and intuition. Fear is loud and urgent. Intuition is calm and direct. And here is the deeper truth. The collective. Matrix rewards obedience. It rewards those who seek approval. It rewards those who stay predictable. When you become sovereign, you become less controllable. That is why your awakening triggers resistance in others. Not because you are doing something wrong, but because your frequency reveals their compromises. Spiritual reflection. Sovereignty is not arrogance. It is alignment with the original design of your soul. It is the moment you stop asking, "Am I allowed?" and start asking, "Is this true for me?" Because your mission does not require permission. It requires embodiment. Are these truths expanding your perspective? Share this video with someone who needs to hear this. Once sovereignty activates, a new magnetism appears. Synchronicities accelerate, and your mission frequency begins to pull your future toward you. Now we go deeper. Your gifts are not for your ego's comfort. They are for service. Not service as sacrifice, but service as alignment with your role in the planetary shift. When your field stabilizes, when your authority strengthens, your life starts rearranging. People come in, people leave, opportunities appear, old doors close. This is not punishment. This is mission geometry. As the Arcturians transmit, your mission is not a job title. Your mission is a frequency you embody, and that frequency naturally organizes reality around it. This is why you can't force your life to stay the same. Your energy is changing the rules of your timeline. A story. You try to stay in the old career because it looks stable, but every day you feel heavier. You begin to get sick more often. Motivation drops. Your creativity dies. Then you take one step toward your true path, sharing your voice, building your craft, speaking truth, and suddenly energy returns. Synchronicities appear. People respond. You feel alive again. That is not placebo. That is alignment. Mission frequency often expresses in ordinary ways. You become the one who brings calm in chaos. You speak truth that others are afraid to say. You create art that activates remembrance. You hold presence that regulates other nervous systems. You see patterns and offer clarity that shifts outcomes. And yes, sometimes mission frequency feels like loneliness. Because when you stop lowering your signal, fewer people can stay close. Not because you are better, but because you are different. You are moving into spaces that require integrity. Practical mission alignment. Choose one daily action that supports your future self, even small. Protect your creative energy. It is not a luxury, it is a mission tool. Stop explaining your path to those committed to misunderstanding. You build your rhythm, a schedule that supports regulation and output. Let your audience find you through frequency, not performance. Spiritual reflection. You are not here to be liked. You are here to be clear. And clarity is what activates others. When you embody mission frequency, your life becomes a lighthouse, not a debate. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to be part of this transformational cosmic journey. If you think you're late, the Arcturians have a direct transmission for you, because the timeline you fear is not the real timeline guiding you. You may believe you should have awakened sooner. You may grieve the years you spent confused, lost, numbing, surviving. But the Arcturian Council transmits a different truth. Your timing was not an error. It was protection and precision. As the Arcturians transmit, activation cannot happen when the vessel lacks capacity. If you received your full mission signal too early, you might have used it to prove yourself, to control others, to escape pain, or to burn out. Many souls awaken power before wisdom, and they collapse. Your soul refused that timeline. A story. You wanted clarity at 18, but you lacked boundaries. You lacked discernment. You would have given your gifts to people who would drain you. So your soul kept your signal quiet. Then you learned. You were betrayed. You rebuilt. You learned to say no. You learned to choose yourself. And now your gifts can activate without destroying you. This is why your past was not wasted. It was training. Your human experiences built the architecture your mission requires: empathy, resilience, humility, depth. The Arcturian path is not about being pure. It is about being usable, a clear channel that can hold intensity without distortion. Signs you are now on the correct timeline. Synchronicities increase in frequency and precision. You feel internal urgency paired with unusual calm. You outgrow old identities rapidly. Your intuition becomes sharper and more consistent. People mirror your change, either supporting or resisting it. Practical integration. Don't rush decisions from urgency. Move from resonance. Track synchronicities without obsessing. Let them guide gently. Avoid over-consuming spiritual content. It can scramble your signal. Choose embodiment practices, sleep, breath, movement, over constant seeking. Commit to one path long enough for it to open. Spiritual reflection. Your timeline is alive. It responds to your choices. When you choose alignment, the universe does not punish you with delay. It reorganizes reality around your commitment. This is not for everyone. The ebook, The 12 Arcturian Portals, is a restricted trilogy created for those who are ready to activate their 5D connection with the Arcturian masters, not in theory, but in real energetic experience. Inside, you'll access 12 powerful portals, with precise activation protocols, rituals, and practical techniques designed to awaken your stellar DNA and unlock what has been dormant within you. Amplified intuition, direct communication with spiritual guides, energetic expansion beyond the 3D matrix. Warning: once activated, your perception will not return to the previous state. Limited edition. Access can close at any moment. The link to claim your trilogy is in the first pinned comment. If this message reached you, it's not random. The final phase is the most feared and the most powerful, stepping into embodied authority where your life becomes the transmission. This is the final phase, not just awakening but embodying. Many souls awaken and then keep it private. They hide it behind, "I'm still learning." They wait until they feel perfect. But perfection is not the requirement. Coherence is. As the Arcturians transmit, your mission is not to escape Earth's density. It is to bring high frequency into the density and transform it from the inside. That means your awakening must become visible through your choices, your boundaries, your creativity, your leadership, your presence. Embodied authority looks like you stop negotiating with what drains you. You speak with calm certainty instead of proving yourself. You create consistently even when validation is slow. You allow endings without guilt. You become a stable field that others can feel. A story. You walk into a room where everyone is anxious. You do not fix them. You do not lecture. You simply remain regulated. You breathe. You listen. You speak only what is true. And the room shifts. That is power. Not domination. Stabilization. Another story. You finally share your message online. Not to impress, not to be famous, but because you can't keep it inside anymore. Someone comments, "I thought I was alone." Another says, "This explained what I couldn't name." Your mission becomes real. Not because you made it, but because your frequency found its match. Now, the final revelation, you are not merely healing. You are completing an assignment. You agreed to carry a certain signal into this world. You agreed to become a bridge. You agreed to live as evidence that reality can shift through consciousness. And yes, this means you may feel restless when life gets too comfortable. That restlessness is not ingratitude. It is your soul calling you forward. It is sacred discontent. It is the compass. So tonight, place your hand on your heart and speak to your own field. Not as a plea, as a command of remembrance. Let your body hear your leadership. If this message impacted your life, leave your like, comment your reflection, and share with others. Each of you is part of this chain of light.